Fullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Court Winsett.
Hello, Katie.
And Cameron Spann.
Hello.
Okay, are y'all on TikTok?
Yes.
I am not. I left TikTok after the elections in 2025 because it started getting crazy.
Oh, wow.
Like my feed was just filled with 100% conspiracy theories about everything from Martians taking over the planet to, it was in the next. There were a whole bunch of people that were like, in the next 10 days, the Supreme Court's going to step in and overturn the election. I mean,
so your algorithms have gotten really crazy.
Insane. Yeah. And so I just shut it off entirely.
My algorithm's pure comedy. Like, for the most part. It's just funny. It makes me chuckle.
See, that I still watch Reels because Reels has more stuff that I actually like watching, like dance videos and singing people and stuff like that.
You just need to reset your TikTok.
I don't know. It got really messed up.
I don't have notifications on it. So, like, I sent Cam something a couple days ago, and then I logged on last night.
Did you?
He responded. You responded to what I said, and you're like, need. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
What is he talking about? I was like, oh, I sent that to him a couple of days ago. Okay. Anyways, enough about TikTok. This episode is spurred from things that are on TikTok because, unfortunately, a lot of people are getting their news, getting their updates on the world from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. So if you've been on TikTok lately, you may have seen influencers promoting apps where you can bet on the future, not sports, but things like elections, interest rates, or even whether a major world event will happen. These are called prediction markets, and they're quickly gaining popularity online. It's raising a lot of questions about whether they're financial tools or just another form of online gambling.
I saw this at the Oscars. They were talking about it. Kind of this betting on anything you want to, including award shows.
So we're reading this and it's like, okay, well, the first thing that triggers in my mind is Back to the Future. And when Biff steals the magazine and goes and wins all his fortune because he has the inside knowledge. But then we go further into this and it's like, you remember Vegas Vacation when Chevy Chase was trying to win all the money back at the end, and it was just like these stupid games that were just all chance and luck, and there was no skill set to it at all. This is kind of what this is screaming to me is like, okay, are we about to have some crazy like betting just to bet? But that's always been in like pop culture movies. You've seen like office betting pools, and we're in March, we're finishing up March, and it's the March Madness, and everybody's got their brackets, and sports betting has definitely really taken off. I think we've talked about sports betting some on episodes, but that would be another one to touch on now with so much around just betting.
And speaking of sports betting and also this prediction future betting, it's become really popular to bet the over and under on how long the national anthem will last in the Super Bowl.
Crazy things. Like you really are betting to bet. And it's where does it stop? What is the impact of it? And how crazy has this gotten? But first, we are going to do a list of some gambling movies out there. There's tons and tons of gambling movies, but who wants to start this one off?
I'll do it. Fine. The silence was deafening. First on our gambling movie list would be Casino.
Yeah.
I've seen pieces of it, but I don't think I've ever
watched the whole movie.
I've never seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
So a mob-connected casino operator, aren't they all, runs a Las Vegas casino while organized crime skims profits from the top.
Okay, next one on there is Rounders. I love this movie. A law student, played by Matt Damon, also happens to be a talented poker player, gets pulled back into underground poker world because he has to help a friend who I think was played by Ed Norton pay off some gambling debts. A wackadoodle performance by John Malkovich is he plays a Russian gambler and has this really, really like out there Russian accent that he does. It's pretty hilarious. Anyway,
check it out. Okay, The Sting. Two con artists stage an elaborate betting scam to trick a powerful mob boss, because that always makes sense to do.
I'm so happy I get this one. Casino Royale, I think, is my favorite James Bond film. It will fluctuate between this and Skyfall, but
I love Skyfall.
Skyfall's so good. Casino Royale just started that whole new generation. Daniel Craig was great. But anyways, in Casino Royale, James Bond enters a high-stakes poker tournament to bankrupt a terrorist financier who funds criminal operations through gambling. And Casino Royale is in Monte Carlo, isn't it, in the movie?
I believe so.
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure.
Great movie.
Yeah. Okay, The Big Short.
We've talked about
this one before, yeah. So a group of investors realize the housing market is about to collapse and essentially bet against the entire financial system.
That's a different type of gambling movie.
Very different. Okay, what about Uncut Gems? The New York jeweler and gambling addict keeps placing incredibly risky bets, sports bets, spiraling into chaos. This was a very different Adam Sandler movie for sure.
I haven't seen it. Have y'all seen it?
I've seen it. It was not your typical Adam Sandler at all. It was very dark and
I think
moody.
the Safdie brothers directed that. I'm pretty sure. Timothy Chalamet ping pong movie.
Okay.
Marty Supreme.
Yes. Marty Supreme, thank you. Oh, it's me. All right, we will do Molly's Game. Based on a true story of Molly Bloom, who ran exclusive underground poker games for celebrities, athletes, and Wall Street elites. I have never heard of Molly's Game.
Oh, it's
before.
a good game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good movie.
Jessica Chastain. I haven't seen
yes.
it, but yeah.
I'm so stupid. I have seen this. I just
Okay.
forgot the title of it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that kind of sounds like a familiar plot. It was great.
And then finally, why not?
Yes.
Trading Places. Two wealthy brothers make a $1 bet to see if they can switch the lives of a rich investment manager and or broker, whatever, a street hustler, played by, of course, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
It's a great movie.
It's funny that in Trading Places, what they're trading, what they're investing in is futures, which is, what we're talking about here, except in the movie and in Trading Places, what they're dealing with is commodities, futures.
Yeah.
And of course, we're talking about just the future.
I'm sad the Ocean's movies weren't listed, but those are more heist than gambling,
Yeah.
even though they
That's
take
true.
place in casinos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of movies. Okay, so prediction markets. Participants on a prediction market platform trade event-based contracts whose prices reflect collective forecasts of future outcomes. These markets are used to predict elections, economic trends, and business results. This idea is based on the concept that markets aggregate information, people with knowledge or strong opinions trade on it. So again, this episode is not talking about the stock market, anything like that. We are talking about very specific what is going on social media right now. So how are these contracts working? They are event contracts, which are basically wagers on whether something will happen or not.
Like the Oscars, who's going to win Best Actor, the Best Picture. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Each contract has two possible outcomes, yes or no. Think of it like buying a yes or no ticket on a future event. If you buy a yes contract for 70 cents and the event happens, it pays $1. That means you made 30 cents profit per contract. If the event does not happen, the contract expires worthless and you lose 70 cents you paid. So it's kind of introducing you a little bit to the real stock market aspect of it and what you can be doing. But this is playing with things that are very much.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like DraftKings or any of the big sports betting sites.
Same
So far, you have not said anything that makes me think this is anything other than just gambling. With with the minor exception of the fact that it is an aggregation system of everybody's bet.
Yeah.
So the price reflects how people are betting on it, and that kind of gives you an idea of, I guess, what the hive mind is thinking is going to actually happen.
And we are not encouraging listeners to this.
No. This is information only.
Yeah, information only.
Yeah.
The idea works in reverse for a no contract because people are constantly buying and selling. The price moves up and down based on what the market thinks is most likely. So yes, you definitely have that component of what's the herd mentality? What is everybody thinking is going to be happening versus the reality? The major platforms, y'all want to round robin these major platforms?
Sure. I think there are only two that we're listing. But,
yeah, Court and I will handle.
Kalshi, I don't know if my
That's the big one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Kalshi, Kalshi. Founded in 2021. It is based in the U.S. and it is regulated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
That is fascinating. I did not know that.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
On the other side of the coin, we have Polymarket, which is crypto-based platform. It operates offshore and is not regulated by the U.S. That screams sketchy to me.
Yikes.
I have heard of Polymarket, though.
Apparently, the CEOs of Kalshi and Polymarket are bitter rivals, and they do not like being lumped in with each other.
Oh. Okay, let's use some real life examples. So the election, 2024 U.S. election, presidential election, the prediction markets like Polymarket and Kalshi let users trade contracts such as, will Donald Trump win the 2024 election? Will Joe Biden drop out of the race before Election Day? Which party will control the Senate? Okay, so this is stuff that people are already talking about, discussing. You've got the talking heads going back and forth about it. You've got, it's the conversation that everybody's having. And so these groups have learned how to market it and capitalize on it. Prices constantly changed as news broke, meaning the market price reflected the crowd's estimated probability of the outcome.
Yeah, I'm on the Kalshi site right now, and I'd heard of this. It's fascinating. I just Googled Iran U.S. bets Kalshi, and they've got multiple bets based on it right now, like U.S. Iran nuclear deal. 51% are betting before 2027, 35% are betting before August. Will Donald Trump visit Iran? There's so many different bets happening. It's fascinating.
Is it?
So
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's fascinating. People must be so bored. It's like, ooh, what am I going to bet on today? Will it rain? Yes or no?
well, so
Frivolous?
I am the person that I have gone to Vegas twice in the last 2 years, and that first time I went, I maybe spent $20, and then the last time I went, I did not even put $1 down on a slot machine, anything like that. I do not like gambling at all. So this is just, if I'm doing an office poll, sure, for fun, yeah. Money, no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, like for instance, right now we're doing in the office, we're doing brackets because we're right in the middle of March Madness. And I generally speaking, like for instance, I stopped playing fantasy football a long time ago because most of the people that I knew that played it, you had to do a buy-in anywhere from $50 to $100 just to play. I was like, no, I'm terrible at it. Why would I do it? Turns out we did a free fantasy football here where people didn't have to pay a buy-in. I was like, okay, well, if it's free, I'll do it. I still had no fun doing it because I was still terrible at it. But the March Madness bracket, I'm like number 3 out of everybody right now. And I'm like, how did that happen?
I will say I'm more committed to some kind of fantasy if money's involved. Not a lot, but if it's just for free, I'm not going to check it or care about it.
Okay, so back to real life examples. Economic predictions. Will the Federal Reserve raise interest rates this month? Will U.S. inflation exceed 4% this year? Or will unemployment exceed 5% by December?
Cam, give us this weather.
I was just joking about this, but it's real. Weather and natural events. Will a hurricane hit Florida this year? Will snowfall in New York exceed 10 inches this month? Will the temperature exceed 100 degrees in Phoenix this week? These are attractive because they're objectively measurable outcomes. Yeah.
And pop culture and entertainment. Will Margot Robbie win the Oscar for Best Actress? Will Taylor Swift release an album this year? Will a certain movie gross over $1 billion? Academic data shows thousands of such contracts have been traded across different entertainment events. And like you said, you saw several with the Oscars.
I wonder if there's something about Project Hail Mary on there because
I bet.
They just announced that it's the biggest movie of 2026 thus far.
I'm looking back at this Iran thing. There are so many different bets happening. Are these user-generated bets? Or did Kalshi create these?
I don't know.
I'll look that up because if it's user, then they have to go in and update it as soon as Taylor Swift releases an album. I'll look that up, but keep going.
Okay, so some prediction markets have actually become controversial because they allow bets on highly sensitive real-world events. That is where the conversation becomes morally gray because people are no longer just predicting inflation or election outcomes, but they're profiting from things like war, violence, tragedies.
I was just saying, like, when you said that, I was thinking, what are people betting on when somebody's going to die?
I mean, I don't know, Cameron.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So I asked Google, is Kalshi user-generated? It says yes, it is user-generated, decentralized prediction market where users trade yes or no. We've already covered that. While Kalshi provides the platform, users determine the market prices based on demand.
Yeah, and it says platform allows users to create their own custom bets.
Yep.
So apparently, right before we went to war with Iran, there was a bet on whether the U.S. and or Israel would strike Iran. And that was apparently a controversial one. After the attack occurred, obviously, analysts noticed that some traders had placed large bets shortly before the news became public and made significant profits.
Oh, so we got some insider information going on.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Kalshi explicitly bans wagers directly involving death, but recently sparked controversy by freezing $54 million in bets regarding the ouster of Iran's Ayatollah. So it does say no to betting on death. Yeah, that's a big rabbit hole. That could get into assassins and all that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
You start killing people to try and make the bet come true.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
The dark world.
What world are we in? This is freaky.
So even if no laws are broken, people still argue that it still feels ethically wrong to profit from events involving human suffering or conflict or national security. So there are some questions out there about how far this should go and what what people should and should not bet on. It just seems like you're betting on stuff. I'm sorry.
Next section of this. Why
You seem grossed out, Katie.
I'm very appalled by this. Like, it is just,
She's in a dark place right now, y'all.
I don't like it. So why some people like it? The wisdom of crowds. Supporters argue prediction markets combine the knowledge of thousands of people. Okay.
What about real money equals real benefits? Unlike polls, people actually risk money on their predictions.
Real money, real beliefs. Like, you're not going to bet on something that you don't genuinely think is going to happen. If you're trying to predict the future, you're going to bet the way that you feel something is actually going to go.
You put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. Presumably. Okay, so faster signals. Markets react quickly to new information. The larger number people you have putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak, the more likely you're reflecting a vast amount of knowledge. The more likely it is that the market will react to news as it's happening quickly, because there are people that are seeing that news and reacting to it quickly on Kalshi.
Yeah, I'm seeing here the broader financial market is increasingly listening to or paying attention to Kalshi, particularly as a real-time data source for economic expectations. That's pretty scary. KT?
Oh, gosh.
I'm not making it better for you.
No, not at all. Okay, the problems. Yeah, let's get to that. Are they just gambling? Yes. Yes.
All right, end of episode. That's it.
Critics argue prediction markets are essentially online casinos for real-world events. States and regulators say platforms like Kalshi and Poly Market are skirting gambling laws by labeling bets as financial contracts. Several states have even tried to ban them or sue the platforms. Yeah, look, it's gambling to me. And I agree, like, they are kind of like called cryptocurrency stuff. And it's, they're not under certain regulations. This is not under regulations of gambling laws. And it's calling it a financial contract, that gives me the ick, because when I'm trying to talk to somebody about getting their finances in order and investing and doing different things, if they're hearing, oh, well, my buddy just lost a bunch of money in a financial contract, before you know it, it's going to get whittled down to, oh, my buddy lost a lot of money in the market. They could be talking about prediction market and not the stock market, not invested. And so that's where it's going to get all blurred, and everyone's going to be insider trading risk. We talked about that, how before went to war, what happened because these markets involve real world events. Insiders may have information others don't. Traders made over 1.2 million betting on the timing of a U.S. military strike shortly before it became public. So yeah, where is you don't know who's putting these bets, and you don't know who's creating these things.
Yeah.
And you're sitting at home like, oh, I've got $20. I'm just going to bet across the board on several different things. But then the addiction aspect of it comes into play. I don't know if that's in this outline or not, but addiction to gambling is a real problem, and it sneaks up on people. So that is a huge scare of, now, if you truly are just, oh, I got $20. Doesn't make or break me. I'm covering all my other buckets. This is fine. I just want to do this for fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Gambling has never been something that I was morally opposed to, but there's certainly people who feel like it is a slippery slope, morally objectionable, but especially when you consider that some of the things that you could bet on, maybe not on Kalshi, but on other places, betting on wars or assassinations or global disasters, stuff like that.
I like sports betting 10 times more than this crap. It's
giving dark web.
It is like, this should not be something we were able to just quickly like put in the computer and it pops up. I feel like I need to go through like a whole log on parameter, like background check, get approved to even be a part of this group.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it begs questions like, obviously one of the problems with it is manipulation. Like, prediction markets can be influenced by either large traders, people who force it to go one way because they're making huge contracts, but also you can manipulate things that way, create odds where there aren't really odds in your favor just by using a whole lot of money in a position.
I did research for you real quick. I'm going to jump in on Project Hail Mary bets. There sure are. The two top ones are Project Hail Mary Rotten Tomatoes score, above 90, above 94. There's $2 million worth of bets within that.
Holy
And then
crap.
They have Oscar nomination for Best Picture. Will it be Project Hail Mary or The Odyssey for early next year?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I also wonder, like you mentioned something about betting on whatever gambling thing, betting on the length of the national anthem before the Super Bowl.
Yep.
If I'm singing the national anthem, then
You could rig
I'm
that thing.
placing a bet and then drawing it out.
Yeah, like it's like what's the financial industry has specific rules on who can, buy certain stocks and, initial public offerings and who can't have those, and it has rules for insider trading. But this is the Wild West. This is like anybody can do anything, and the heads of a movie production company could put these out, or different people like marketing products can put something out like this. Like there's so much manipulation that can happen, as we talked about. Court, you don't use your TikTok anymore because your algorithm sent you down that way. I would imagine, I'm guessing, if you were using one of these platforms, your algorithms are going to continue to send you more things that are what you want to be betting on, what you're a part of. So then before you know it, that $20 has now turned into $120. And again, I've never done any of these betting things, but I know like Daniel talks about how he's got his sports betting, and he's always playing on house money, he says, because like you start it and they give you some, and it's like when you win, you cash it out, and then it's constantly, That's what he says, at least. We'll see. But I would imagine it's the money kind of stays within Kelsey, and then you've got to, you then have to physically go through and make it where it goes to your bank account, goes to something else. And so it makes it seem like it's not real money, because it's like, oh yeah, well, I've made $500. Well, then you're going to go and use it again.
Oh, they've got a big web page on Kalshi for how insider trading is banned, and they're making it very serious here.
Okay.
Offshore, unregulated, it's like they don't do this, and they prohibit it. The 24/7 real-time monitoring. I don't know how they monitor.
Yeah.
it.
How do they monitor? How do they know if I go on there and make a bet, but like I'm making a bet about something and my husband's the CEO of a company and I overheard his conversation?
Well, I mean, I guess the most obvious thing would be I assume you have to put in your real contact information. So
I'm
know
sure
who you are.
Yeah.
That would seem like the primary thing, since it is regulated by
the commodities,
the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. I mean, I worry, like, does that give it more legitimacy that maybe it shouldn't have? Because obviously there are legal issues here, like whether is it a financial product, like you were saying, like are people going to start thinking of this as the same thing?
Is somebody going to ask me, hey, should I start doing this?
Yeah.
No.
Or is it gambling? Obviously, we mentioned that there are states that are trying to ban it, and questions about whether or not it should be treated as gambling under state gambling laws, or if it's a federally regulated actual, financial tool. And obviously that stuff matters and could affect the ongoing existence of such things. And plus, how are you going to, how does Kalshi, do they have anything about like reporting gains versus?
Yeah, I'd be interested, like, how do you handle that from, a tax
perspective?
There's so many questions with this.
Requires users to report gains, though it does not typically issue comprehensive broker-style tax forms like a 1099-B.
Okay.
Users are responsible for reconstructing their own transaction-level records to calculate gains and losses.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of people that just forget.
Yep.
That's where you then get in trouble.
The top bet right now on Kalshi is college basketball, Arizona versus Michigan. Who takes it all? $151 million worth of bets in there.
Oh my God.
Insane.
Well, and so then I got to ask then, like, the whole protection aspect of it. Like, how are these games, the money that's going in, like, what if somebody comes in and hacks the whole system? What's the protection level of your money? You know what I'm saying?
Here's a
What?
bet. This is.
You're just looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, I mean, that's a risk anytime you do anything on the internet with money, that obviously.
But when you invest, there are parameters in place to protect. Oh, is there one about Trump because he's in Memphis?
It is the top trending one. We are in Memphis for our listeners. The top trending bet is, what will Trump say during the Memphis Safety Roundtable?
Well, that's happening now.
And one of
isn't
the topic bets is transgender. Will he bring it up? Dang. Transgender event does not qualify oil, more markets. Those are the bets. Okay.
Y'all have got me all in a tizzy over here. This is
And I'm glued to the screen. Sorry.
you were see, that's what you're fascinated. You're going down the deep dive, but you're also fascinated in not throwing money at it.
Oh, I'm not. No chance.
So would you do this? Would you bet on this?
No, I'm not a big gambler. Obviously, I'm old I've been to casinos many times and gambled when I was there, but I do tend to like the card games more than anything. Something that I have at least some semblance of control over. So
Yeah.
I'm not out for pure randomness. Now, this isn't necessarily random stuff. Again, I question how I would feel about betting on something that could be considered a tragedy or
The ethics
Yeah.
of it all. I will not be doing this, Katie, because I know my personality, and I could see me being highly addicted to betting on the temperature in Phoenix, Small stakes, but then it builds over time, and all of a sudden I'm in a pickle.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want $1, and then it goes, the prediction markets, it forces a deeper philosophical question. Clearly, I'm all worried about this now because I know we as a society are so susceptible to this stuff. Before you know it, it's going to be like showing up bottom ticker on news channels. It's like, this is happening. People have always talked about, like, what is the Fed chair going to say and what is the market going to do while he's talking. Same with the president. But now it's going to come down to, okay, is this celebrity going to mispronounce somebody else's name again? And, it's not Idina Menzel, it's whatever it was for that. And which then is sending, that's harmless, but then we're also, this is a moral thing, we're then creating a generation that is betting on people's misfortune, betting on, people's behavior. And for what? You're just creating almost a bully system is what a lot of these can turn into.
What would the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy think of their great-grandchildren betting on wars?
War. Oh, are we going to go to war? Like,
I'm curious.
When are we going to be done with this? When we
How many casualties will there be?
These are conversations that we need to be having and we need to be hearing. Oh, y'all got me real heated now. You need to be able to be exposed to both sides of the spectrum. So it's like, it'd be great if when you have these questions, it's like, in order for you to bet, you need to fully engage and watch this video about this side of it and that side of it. And then you can bet. But nobody's going to do that. But I feel like people are just blindly voting, blindly betting, blindly doing things, and they're not getting the education. They're topics that we need to discuss. Are we going to go to war or not? Well, let's discuss it. Why is it good? Why is it bad? What are the implications of this? Instead of like, oh, I just accidentally betted on this. And have they not seen some horror movies? You bet on the wrong thing, and then now you're on a list, and now you're going to get sent a link, and then you're going to die? Like, I don't know.
Good Lord, man, you are going dark.
It freaks me out.
You basically just accused Kalshi of being responsible for the death of people.
It just freaks me out.
And I think that is as good a bullseye as any. Prediction markets, they freak Katie out.
This was an information episode. They do say prediction markets. It makes it sound very financial. It says financial contract. This is not what we do at Pickler Wealth Advisors. This is not what we would be recommending to our clients. If this is something that you're interested in, this truly needs to be your money that you were going to go eat dinner with or whatever. Like, you're choosing to not have your steak and you're going to have the burger and you're going to do a bet. But if you choose to do this, please be aware that it is very easy to get out of hand. There are tons of different gambling addiction help out there. I see Cam's got that pulled up right now. The National Problem Gambling Helpline.
1-800-MY-RESET.
Yeah.
If you have gambling addictions.
What is y'all's final opinion about this? Because I didn't know much about this until we started this episode.
It seems like the Wild West to me. I mean, the Kalshi on their site, they make it look like they're super monitored, but I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah. I don't really have an opinion. I'm not interested in it. If other people want to do it, I don't have a problem with them doing it. Live and let live and all that stuff. Just don't be stupid. Bullseye.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got bios. We've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But I mentioned pictures. We do have pictures on our Instagram handle, which is at bullcastpodcast. We also have an X handle, which is also at bullcastpodcast. And finally, rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is Bullcast the Podcast. So feel free to check us out there and engage. But as I like to do on every single episode, let me point out to you that we all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out even more about us, find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not a name.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you everything you need to now know what a prediction market is. So be happy about that. For now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.